So we're going to talk a lot about health tonight. What I'm going to do first is define. We need to define what that means. So I mentioned this was interactive, so I'm going to ask questions. Adam, you haven't taken a bite yet. What does... If I was going to ask you, are you healthy, what would you say?
If I'm healthy?
Yes,
or...
are you healthy?
Yes.
Okay, great. And what do you use to define that? What's your measuring stick?
Weight.
Weight. Okay, great. Anything else?
Activity.
Activity level. Okay, awesome. Janice, what about you? Are you healthy?
Yes, I believe
Yes.
I am.
Great. And how do you measure that?
I think similar to Adam,
Okay.
you know, that my weight is where it should be.
Okay.
I'm active.
Okay.
I don't have any illnesses or anything like that. Or at my age, a lot of times people have high blood pressure and high cholesterol. I don't
Okay.
have any of that. So.
Got it. Awesome. So they asked this question to thousands of people, and the answers they got back were, I'm healthy if I feel good. Okay, so, I feel good, so I'm healthy. If I don't have any diseases, you mentioned that, right? I don't have any symptoms, no high cholesterol, no blood pressure, and I'm not taking any medications. So if I feel good, I'm not taking any medications, and I don't have any diseases, therefore I'm healthy. How does that sound? Does that sound like a good definition? Is there anything we're missing in that definition?
What you're eating?
Okay, so I did hear some of you mention activity. Adam, you mentioned activity, right? So let's think about the person who feels fine. What's the first sign of heart disease in more than 50% of cases?
But you can have all the good things and still not be healthy inside.
Amen, amen. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, yes. So first sign of heart disease in more than 50% of cases is a heart attack. 50% of those being fatal. Okay? First sign. This means these people walk around feeling good, not taking any medications, and not having any diseases. So they would define themselves as healthy. And then they drop dead from a heart attack. Okay, so feeling good does not equal health. Does not equal health. Okay? It just means feeling good. And that's okay. I mean, it's okay, but that's all it means, is that feeling good. When we look at feeling versus function and this chart of the nervous system, and I'll go through this a little bit more, but feeling, our sensory nervous system, what we feel, is only about 10% of the equation. 90%, the other 90% of the nervous system is involved with function of our body. So when we talk about health, it's not just about feeling good. It's about our body's working good. And you mentioned that, activity, having a healthy lifestyle. That is how we define health, is lifestyle. Because there are people who have great numbers. Sharon, you just mentioned that. They have great numbers. Their numbers look fine. Cholesterol looks fine. Blood pressure looks fine. But maybe they are not active. They don't eat very well. But things haven't shown up yet. Diseases haven't shown up yet. Health is not a destination. You never arrive there and say, okay, I'm healthy. Don't have to do any, I've arrived, right? It is a continual process. It is a continual process. Every single choice you make every day, whether that's what to eat, if you're going to move or not, if you are going to get good sleep, if you're going to practice a stress-reducing practice, if you're going to come and get adjusted and have your nervous system clear, every choice you make either pushes you towards health or drives you away from health. So it's not the first cookie that makes somebody heavy. It's not the first cigarette that gives somebody lung cancer. This is a continual process of choices every single day. So when I talk about health and I ask somebody, are they healthy, I don't mean feel good, no diseases, no meds. I mean, what's your lifestyle like? Are you looking at those 5 things? Because that is what will drive you towards health or away from health. So I'm going to show you tonight some examples of where health might not feel good, where you might say, well, that doesn't make any sense, but I'm going to go through that with you in just a minute. So let's dive right in. So when we talk about the traditional medical model, they look a lot at numbers, right? We just talked about that. Looking at, your cholesterol, your weight, your blood pressure, your red blood cell count, all those measurements that are taken. And sometimes those numbers are good, but they're not everything. Someone could be leading. I have friends who, say, I'm healthy, I'm fine. because their numbers are fine, but clearly not leading a healthy lifestyle. The one thing that we look at in terms of measurement, and the one thing that we look for in our office is subluxation. Now, subluxation, at its simplest form, is an interference caused to the nervous system by the spine. Okay? The spine can get stuck, not moving properly. It starts to inflame and irritate and choke off the nerves in that area, leading to wherever those nerves go is what's going to be affected. So, if nerves go down the hands and arms, we can see tingling, numbness in the hands and arms. Those same nerves go into the thyroid. We can see people who have hyper or hypothyroid issues. Go into digestive organs. That's where the symptoms might show up. So you may not feel a subluxation. That's the other important thing to remember, is that you might not feel it, but we can absolutely see it on x-ray. Okay, so we do films when you come in where you can see where you're moving and not moving, where there's imbalance in your spine. You can see it on film. So those days when you're feeling a whole lot better and you think, oh, I feel really good today. I don't need to go and get adjusted today. I feel good. I want you to remember those things, is that feeling good just means feeling good. It doesn't mean that you don't need to take healthy routines seriously and continually. Just like brushing your teeth, we don't do that just when we feel like we're getting a cavity, right? These are things we do ongoing. Same thing with exercise. People who have had a plan to, they wanted to lose 50 pounds and they go to the gym and they lose 50 pounds. Okay, well, I'm done. I've arrived, lost 50 pounds. I'm going to go back to my old lifestyle, right? It doesn't make sense. And chiropractic fits in to your healthcare model in a very similar way. It's not like going for a treatment of a specific disease. This is what we look for, and this is what we help your body with to correct over the long term so that your body can function optimally. So, like I mentioned, we do see subluxation on x-ray. When we look at x-ray, we look from the side and we look from the front. The side helps us look at levels of degenerative change. Is there degeneration already there? How's your spine moving? We're doing some new x-ray studies that indicate lack of movement or where your spine is moving segmentally. So we can actually see that bone is not moving properly. This one is, this one's not. We can look at degenerative change in the spine as well. When we look from the back, we should see the spine straight up and down. If we see lateral curvatures or side-to-side curves in the spine, that indicates a subluxation. It can indicate scoliosis if it's advanced. But those are some of the things that we look for on film. So where do subluxations come from? The biggest answer is stress on the body, usually physical stress on the body. Car accidents are a big source of subluxation, but so are sports, contact sports. Kids, there's a picture of kids growing up here with a helmet on a bike. Yes, please, everyone, wear helmets on bikes. But, being born, kids learning to walk, they fall 100 times a day. I mean, it's unbelievable how many times they can fall, and you think, oh my gosh, are they hurting themselves? Well, kids specifically do not have as developed pain receptors as we do, for good reason, because they fall so much, and they hit their heads, and they do things that, fully developed bodies and nervous systems don't do. But that trauma to the body can add up. So then we have a 5-year-old with headaches, or we have a 15-year-old with digestive issues, or with low back pain, or then they play sports, and then so it adds up. So we have people who are in their 20s and 30s whose bodies are breaking down, spines are degenerating, and like, wow, what's going on? So we can really dial it back and look at history, any accidents or injuries growing. We love taking care of kids. Behind those boards there are pictures of all kids and babies who have been under our care, and it's the best time to start. It's really when chiropractic care should begin for us. We know that when our teeth start to come out, we got to start rubbing them with the washcloth or brushing them when they're your babies with the baby brush, right? We're taught to take care of them from the time that we have them. Care for our spine should also begin on a maintenance level from the time we're born. It's just, dentistry has done an excellent job in educating the public about it's better to keep your teeth. It's better not to lose them and have, dentures. Unfortunately, there's no replacement for the spine. There's never going to be one. We have to take care of it. It's the only one we have. And the best care is to maintain it from the time you're born. If you don't, then we're happy to take care of you when a crisis arises. However, the best time to take care of it, just like anything else. A car, your relationships, whatever you don't put effort into and maintain, it starts to fall apart. So, corrective care is the beginning phases of care, usually 12 weeks long, anywhere from 8 to 12 to 16 weeks. Repetition of the adjustment is similar to going to the gym. So we want to make a change. It takes that repetition of doing something over and over to get the correction. The adjustment itself is no more than 2 to 3 minutes. We will have you do extra rehab, neuromuscular reeducation, things that will help retrain your brain, drive some water into the discs, prevent further degeneration. The adjustment itself takes about 2 to 3 minutes. You are 15 minutes usually door to door with everything that we have you do inside the office as well. If you ever need extra time with us, you want to talk about some other aspect of health, you want to talk about exercise, you want to talk about nutrition, anything extra, please let us know. We have slips on the very front counter that they look like this, but they're called communication slips. And go grab one on the way in or the way out. Fill out your name, your number, best time to reach you, write what your question is. Dr. Steph and I return all of those calls at the end of our shift, so 11 a.m. or 6 p.m. And ask us here, that's fine too. It's just I know that as a patient sometimes you see that the office is full of people and you're like, I don't really want to ask this question right now. So feel free to do that, but if you don't feel comfortable doing that, please fill out a communication slip. We're happy to answer all your questions. At the 4-week or 12 visit mark, especially during a corrective care, it's every 12 visits or every 4 weeks we'll be doing a re-exam. And 2 things have to happen at those re-exams. You have to report to me that you're doing better. And I have to check you and see that you're progressing, that you're doing better. That's a time, again, where we can check in on some of the things that you mentioned on day 1. And oftentimes what's interesting is people forget how crummy they were when they came in. You know, like, oh, I think I'm doing better. Well, you said it was this. Oh, yeah, I'm way better. So this is really fun as you progress to do these re-exams. Do you know why we don't ask you every day how you're feeling? How are you feeling? How's your back? How are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Your good days, bad days.
Good days and bad days, right? Mm-hmm. Healing can be a roller coaster, right? Mm-hmm. The general direction will be up, but there can be some days where you're feeling crummy and then feeling better and feeling crummy and feeling better. So don't get wrapped up in the day-to-day. Really try to look at the big picture. And then when we check in at the re-exams, we'll see, wow, you really have come from here to here. That's great. So we can see progress on the big scale. It's like, again, relating it to exercise. You go to the gym one time, run, okay, hop on the scale. You know, take your measurements, or am I stronger? Like, no, we have to do that from it's funny, right? But we think about things that way. But the body, to make change, really takes the time and the repetition. The second thing is, when you talk about your pain, your symptoms, my headaches, my allergies, my low back pain, and you attach "my" to that word, it gets embedded in your neurology in a very powerful way that it becomes harder to let go of. So we don't necessarily want you repeating over and over about what your symptoms are. It gets far deeper ingrained in the neurologic pathways, so that's the reason. Now, if something dramatically changes, either gets dramatically better or dramatically worse since we've seen you, please tell us. It's not that we don't want to know what's happening, but we know that we need to take a big picture look as well. So let's talk about some fun things right now as you're eating or finishing up eating. Okay. Who thinks fever is a sign of sickness? Is fever a sign of sickness or is fever a sign of health? Who thinks sickness?
I think it's telling me my body needs to cool down.
So what's your answer? Sickness or health?
Health.
Health. Anyone for sickness?
I mean, I would say there's something going
on the
wrong.
fence, right? We're on the fence.
Something going
Could be
wrong.
infection.
Yeah,
What do you think, Renee? What do you think?
It's your body trying to sweat it out.
Trying to
Okay.
fight something.
Trying to fight it off.
Okay, so that's all right. So this is good. So most times we're conditioned to believe that fever is you're sick, right? You have a fever, you're sick. We would say that. Oh, you're sick. You're not well. Your body's caught something, right? So I always relate it to if you're camping. Have you guys all been camping before? At some point, been in the wilderness? Okay, you come across a stream or a pond or something. You're like, oh, thirsty. Would you drink out of the water? That's a good face, Adam. Yes, that would be a no, right?
Depends if that was the only water there and how long I've been without water.
Yes, depends.
Good point.
At what crisis level am I at? Yes, exactly. If I'm on death's door and I need to drink, yes, okay, all right, fine. But in general terms, yes, we wouldn't because we're unsure about
what's in it.
Little critters, right? Something that's in the water. So we could do what to the water to make it safe?
Hydrate.
Sterilize it or
Purify it.
how?
By heating it up.
Boil it.
Heating it up. Woo! There's $1 million answer. Yes. So heating it up. So we know heating up the water kills pathogens, right? Our body has that exact same built-in mechanism. And you guys all got it. You were kind of like, I don't know. Fever's kind of good. It's kind of bad. I'm not sure. It really is a sign of health. In 99% of cases, we do not need to worry about fever. What is the magic? How high can it go before you need to
102.
worry?
Depends on if you're
103.
an adult or a child.
We're talking about a human, not an infant. Any fever in an infant under 3 months is a super red flag. But once you're above that, do you know what? It's 105. Okay, 105, right? Which seems like, wow, that's high. That's actually on product inserts for fever, anti-fever drug, Tylenol, and things like that. Fever's below 105, our bodies are perfectly, they created it, right?
Yeah.
They created it. And the thing that we get into often is we look at our symptoms that our body's creating and think, this is wrong, I need to stop whatever's happening, this can't be right. When really it's our body's way of healing. It's your body's way of fighting something. So let's say you come into contact with something, you drink the water, you're desperate, right? You'll drink the water. And then the next day or later on, you start to feel feverish, right? First of all, does a fever feel good? No.
Usually comes with aches for some reason. It seems like the two go hand in hand.
Yeah, sometimes, right? There's multiple symptoms, like, and it doesn't feel good. It feels crummy, right? It doesn't feel, no one's like, oh, this is a glorious fever, I love this. Let me just sweat it out, right? Yeah, exactly. Oh, lovely. No, it doesn't feel good. But it is our body's natural way of driving something else. So let's say you don't feel good. And you're like, oh, I have a fever. I'm going to take Tylenol. Stop my fever. What happens to the little pathogen that started the fever in your body in the first place? Does it go away or is it still there?
It's still there.
Still there, right? And now we have actually stopped our body's own natural healing response or fighting response to this little critter. And it's now allowed to go deeper into our systems. Some of the latest cancer research is super interesting. There is a study that came out that said kids who experience more fever as children actually have less incidences of certain types of cancer as they age. I thought that was a fascinating study. Like, really? Wow. So allowing your body, supporting your body, allowing the symptoms that you're experiencing to go to
Run its course.
be there, right?
Yeah.
Run its course. It's totally safe. We have become so just inundated with, I've got to take something, I've got to stop this process, when really it's a natural process and our bodies know what it's doing. Let's talk about diarrhea and vomiting since we're all eating. That's awesome. So it's another very, very effective way of getting rid of something that you've eaten, right? Most people would think, oh, I'm really sick. Well, sort of. You've come into contact with something and your body is very efficient at getting rid of something it doesn't want. And so it's great. If you take something to stop that, anti-nausea, whatever people take, medicate themselves, then now you've allowed whatever that is to persist and to be in your body. So we want to allow you to think about symptoms as guideposts and as your friends. Does pain have a purpose?
Yeah.
What's its purpose? Or one of them?
To tell you something.
Tell you something's wrong.
Body
Yes,
listens.
exactly. Tell you something's wrong and also to stop you from hurting yourself more. Right? So when we're in pain, and if we medicate for pain, and say, I don't want to feel that, that's annoying, that's bothering me, right? We're cutting off that signal from body to brain. And then, well, I'm just fine if I take my Motrin, and then I can go and do my yoga, or do this, or mow the lawn, or lift the bricks, or... Okay, but your body's telling you something's wrong, it doesn't like that. To cut that signal off, and then you have the possibility of hurting yourself more. So listening to our bodies as opposed to trying to stop from feeling everything or expressing everything is a very important concept. Let's talk about the germ theory too, because we hear that a lot. Colds are not common, okay? We say the common cold. We have come to think of a lot of things in our society as normal, right? It's normal to be sick in the winter. It's normal to get the flu season, which I'll just knock that one down right now for you. So let's talk about germ theory. Everybody knows people, right? That said, if you're in an office environment that catch everything, right? That person is always sick. Did you know she's out again? I mean, we know these people, right? They're constantly ill. They're constantly catching everything. And there's people that seem to move through just fine. What's the difference if both of those people are in the same environment and are touching the same
Immune
things
system.
and doing? Immune system?
Stronger.
So,
So
Louis,
your body can fight it off.
so Louis Pasteur was the father of microbiology, and he was the one, I mean, medicine is based on that germs cause disease, period. That's germs cause disease in our bodies. The father of microbiology was Louis Pasteur, and he was the first one that said, these little critters that I've seen growing cause illness. On his deathbed, he recanted and said, it is not the germs that cause disease, it's the cultured media on which they fall. So you and I are the cultured media. We are where these germs fall, right? They're around us, on us, all the time. It is whether or not our cultured media is strong enough or happy enough to resist or allow our bodies to adapt, maybe have a symptom or two or not, and continue. So it is about those 5 factors that I mentioned earlier: sleep and eating well and stress management and exercise, and most of all, having a clear functioning nervous system that allows the immune system to work properly. Old science was that the immune system operated separate from the nervous system. They thought it was an entirely different thing. But in the early 1980s, chiropractors have known this for a long time, that those two things they do not act independently. Those are absolutely related systems. But in the 80s, they actually looked at immune system organs under a microscope and saw nervous system tissue running through, and like, yeah, that's controlled by the nervous system too. Absolutely, it
Did
is.
you think the Eastern methods of health also saw that?
I yes. Yeah.
Because they believe that
Acupuncture.
chi, making
Yes,
sure that
absolutely.
the chi is going through your
Yep.
body properly.
Yep, absolutely. So, I saw, when you guys think, if that ever happens, where you're symptomatic and you feel like, oh, I don't want to come in and get checked because I'm sick or I've caught something. 2 things I want you to remember. One is that it is the best time to get adjusted. Absolute best.
Really?
Absolutely. Will help your body with the healing process, will help your immune system, will help you get through whatever you're getting through faster. And second, do not worry about spreading it to us. We hear that a lot. It's like, I don't want to get you guys sick. We're responsible for our own systems. I'm responsible for my own body, my own health, my own media. I'm not worried about anything anybody brings in here, ever. So, don't worry about that. Definitely come and get, and Gina will tell you the same thing when you call. She'll say, this is the best time, you better come in, right? If you want to come in at the very end of the shift because you got your hat on to do your hair, makeup, or whatever, you're feeling crummy, it's totally fine. You come in when no one else is
Been
here.
here a day.
Happy to do that, right? Have a sick day appointment or not a health day. These are common things people think too. Back spasm, not from lack of Vicodin. Headaches, not from lack of Tylenol. I had a 9-year-old as a new patient in our office last week. Came in with his dad, and his dad said, "Well, he's fine as long as we give him Tylenol or whatever the drug of choice was." And I thought, okay, but he's 9, and he's having migraines to the point where he's throwing up. Like, this is not normal.
Wow.
Well, the neurologist just said he needs to eat more and drink more water. Okay, my kid gets hungry and thirsty, but he's not in a dark room for 2 days throwing up because he's hungry or thirsty or he has a lack of Tylenol in his body. Stupid. Dumb. Who? You bought that? Did you actually buy that? Did someone tell you that? And you went, okay, cool. Like,
yet.
yeah, right? I mean, So, yeah, we don't need drugs. We're not meant to rely on medication. So, people that medicate consistently, that is a problem. We call those people ostriches. Head in the sand, don't want to deal with it. You're ignoring issues that your body is trying to tell you. We are not meant to medicate. Did you know that there is a lifetime limit on those NSAID medications? Non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs? Tylenol, Motrin, Advil, Aleve. Did you know there's a lifetime limit? No? Did you know that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I told you once already. So, the lifetime limit for those meds is 5,000 pills, 5,000 doses in a lifetime. After that, you're doing kidney and liver damage, primarily kidney. So 5,000 might sound like a lot, but really if you break it down for somebody who's been in chronic pain for a couple of years, you could pretty easily get to 5,000. They sell $1,000 or $1,000. That's what they should charge for those crappy things. Nobody would buy them. 1,000 dose bottles at Costco, right? I mean, you can get 1,000 caplets or whatever. You can get the jumbo size. So it's not hard to get there, but those drugs absolutely do damage upwards of that. And lower numbers can do it as well if it's taken in a shorter period of time. The other number is 365 in a year. So that's like one dose a day for a year. You can also look at kidney and liver damage. As people age, they don't clear those drugs near as well. And so that's for a regular person. But okay. So let's talk about the other 5 factors of health before we get back to the my favorite part, talking about the nervous system. But stress. I wish I could teach stress avoidance. I cannot. These are all life issues this is life, right? Weddings. Been around a bride lately. I mean, okay, my sister got married last year on her wedding day. I was like, yay, you're married and it's over. The wedding's over. Like, I was so happy, right? It was great. It was a great day. And it was great that it was over. It's stressful. Promotions. Great, you get new titles, you get new positions, you have more responsibility, but added stress, okay? Having a new baby, biggest blessing, but you learn what lack of sleep is all about, you learn what a whole new, all of these things cause stress. Holidays, I find, this is also, okay, who has a calendar at home that says flu season starts November 15th and ends February 1st? Right? No. So, but this is the flu season. I had a woman who worked for the CDC who was a patient, and when she first came in, she was like, I know the dates. The dates are November 1st through February 1st is the flu season. I was like, wow, do they release something into the air on November 1st? Well, how do you know? What do you mean? How do you know that? I mean, this is crazy. Well, what I look at, and specifically I've seen it in 15 years of practice, is that during the course of those months, this is at an all-time high, right? So we have physical stress. We're traveling more. We're sleeping less. Okay, nutrition is crummy. We're eating out more. We're increase in sugar, increase in alcohol. We're not eating at home. Maybe we're eating out more. We're eating more socially. Exercise. Who has time for that? I have to shop. I've got to visit with friends. I mean, that routine goes out the window. We have to spend time with family members who we may not choose to spend time with any other time of the year, but we're all in the same room. That's stressful. So around this time of the year, if you do not stay on your healthy routines, including coming to get adjusted regularly, this is when people always get ill. And they say, oh, I caught the flu. It's around us all the time. It's around us all the time. When our bodies get out of balance is when we start to see whoosh, people really feel crummy. And so the magic number for stress and the magic number for stress management is 20 minutes a day. You can build that into your routine. Usually in the middle of the day is key. So you can unplug, get out of your office, don't eat lunch at your desk, get out, walk around, leave your phone at your desk, and be unplugged. 20 minutes a day is that magic number. If you can't do 20 minutes a day, the magic number becomes 1 hour a week, and that is either on a massage table, or you go for a nice long hike, or you do something for an hour a week that's unplugged, that's rejuvenating to you. For some people it's exercise, but for a lot of people it's not. A lot of people exercise for other reasons, or we take care of some professional athletes. For them, that's not stress relief, that's work. That's not going to work for them. So something creative could also be a good stress management if you want to take on painting or sculpting or something like that. But whatever it is for you, 20 minutes a day or an hour a week becomes that magic number. That will actually shift your body chemistry and reduce the stress on your nervous system. Nutrition. So we do a whole workshop on nutrition alone. The next one coming up is November 11th. It is Veterans Day, but we thought, what better day than to do a nutrition workshop right before the holidays. So, 2 biggest things with nutrition that people do not get enough of. One is water. Okay? Guideline for water now. Anybody know what that is? Very good. Have you heard that somewhere before? Yeah. You knew that. You knew that before, but you knew that before the workshop. Yeah. Half your body weight in ounces. So everybody get their body weight in their head in pounds. Okay, divide it in half. That's how many ounces of water to shoot for. I highly recommend getting a stainless bottle. If you don't have one, we have lots. We're happy to give you one. These are 30, nope. I don't know. I measured it at home. I know I have to get through 2 and a bit of these every day, and I'm good. So, measuring out, knowing what you have, keeping track of it. It's very important. Water, most people mistake hunger for thirst, or thirst for hunger. They think they're hungry. They really just need to drink more. I can never get that straight. Is it they mistake thirst for hunger, hunger for what? You should drink more. Drink more water. Second thing is people do not get enough fruits and vegetables. What's the magic number of servings per day for fruits and veggies?
11.
11 to 15 is the serving. Is the servings? Yeah. Wow.
Did they increase
right?
that?
They did. Yeah, absolutely. Because there are over 200,000 studies, scientific studies that show if we would consume fruits and vegetables in that quantity, 11 to 15 servings a day, which is like in those sandwiches, in the veggie sandwiches, there's probably 8. I mean, you can do it. It's just, fitting it in. Is it a challenge? Is it like effort? Absolutely. So, if we would consume fruits and veggies in that level, we would decrease the incidence of every single disease of aging that we think is related to aging. So, macular degeneration and hardening of the arteries and stroke and heart disease and all of these things that we think are just normal aging, if we would just up our intake of fruits and vegetables, we'd be good. 11 to 15 servings. Dark, eating from the rainbow, really important. So when you're looking at, I love those veggie sandwiches because I can look inside and I'm like, red,
Yeah, colors,
orange,
yeah.
purple, green, yeah, like I love it, right? That's awesome. When dark leafy greens, really good source of what for us? Calcium, yes, right, excellent. Calcium, yes. So a lot of things, iron, pretty good for iron, but best source of calcium for all of us actually. What is dairy a good source of calcium?
When you're younger.
When you're younger, does our bodies change as we're older?
Because isn't it like when you're young, like that's why 2% milk or whole milk is good for a child because then you're also gaining weight, which is healthy when you're younger. But then
Raw
if you're,
milk you should be able to have anytime.
What?
Raw milk.
Raw milk, yes. So, that is a lie we've been told by the dairy industry for our entire lives, okay? If you're going to drink milk, I would have any food in its most raw, unprocessed form. Which is why if you're going to consume dairy, raw dairy is the absolute best. That means unhomogenized, unpasteurized. Okay? So that's the best form to consume it if you need to drink the milk of a cow. But in my professional opinion, the only people who need to do that, the only animals that need to do that are calves. It's not an essential part of our diet. We've just become, in Western culture, just as we need to drink cow milk. Well, okay. Lots of people survive without cow milk. It's not necessary, okay? If you like it, drink it. Just drink it organic. Drink it, as the purest form, the best form you can find. And not non-fat. I much prefer full fat, raw. Anytime you're drinking something that has been processed to the point of taking out fat, they're actually linking non-fat milk and our non-fat dairy products to rise in obesity in children. Because once you take out the fat, milk is fat and sugar. Once you take the fat out, the fat actually acts as the buffer for the milk sugar. Once you take the fat out, there's no buffer there anymore, and their insulin release skyrockets. It's just like drinking sugar. It's
just
insane.
like soda and diet soda.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, yes. Oh. So anyways, we're doing a whole workshop on nutrition because this topic has so much information out there that is so confusing, right? We've been sold this bill of like fat is so bad for us and fat's bad and cut fat out of everything. Our brains are almost entirely fat. Our nervous systems, every nerve is covered in a coating of fat. We need fat. It's good for us. It's one thing I don't limit at all. I mean, I don't eat processed foods, but I definitely don't limit fat. Olive oil, avocado, nuts, like I don't even think about it. Because it's good for us. We need it. It's a good fat. Dark leafy, good sources of calcium. Dairy, not so hot. All about the color when it comes to food. Like I said, eating from the rainbow. What's the green powerhouse food that's not up there? That's getting a lot of press.
Kale, whatever.
Kale. Yes,
Kale.
Adam kale.
Is it good?
What do you mean? Good
I've
how?
never flavored.
Tasting?
I've never tried it.
Depends on what you do to
It
it.
depends. Yeah.
I've never had it yet.
Kale salads are really
Okay.
good.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I think it is? For me, if I know that something is good for me, I'm going to find a way to like it, right?
True.
So, would it be like I'm dying for some kale? No, I'm not. But will I add it to things because I know it's a very powerful food? Yes. Will I, I'm going to saute it with lots of garlic and some salt and pepper and some olive oil and make it good? Yeah, I will do that to make it enjoyable. You can put it in smoothies, you can put it in salad. When I put raw kale in salad, I let it marinate in the dressing because that helps to soften it a little bit. It can be a little chewy, a little tough. Red. So things in nature are linked. So red fruits and vegetables are linked to hearts and heart disease. If you know that you have heart disease at all in your family history, making sure that you're getting at least 2 servings of red fruits a day can decrease your risk of heart disease by 20 to 30%. So Powerhouse Red. What is the Powerhouse Red fruit? That's not up there.
You said tomatoes.
3 of you have heard my workshop. So. The Powerhouse Red is pomegranate. Okay, so very powerful red, antioxidants, fighting heart disease and cancer. So pomegranates are challenging to eat, but the pom juice is actually pure. There isn't added sugar, there isn't water, it's not from concentrate, and mixed with that pure cherry, like the pom cherry, is decent. Mixed with one little shot of chilled vodka, even better. One a day. Okay, wellness care. So once you guys get through your corrective phase and we see the changes and you guys are reporting and everything's great, now you're definitely going to talk about what maintaining those changes look like and what's appropriate. And there is no magic number. I still get checked at least once a week, sometimes twice a week. It just depends. I have a very physical job. I run, I train, I do all kinds of stuff. So sometimes it's once a week, sometimes twice a week. Sometimes it's every 2 weeks. It just really depends. There is no magic number. It's going to depend on your individual lifestyle. But we will always make recommendations in terms of what you need to do going forward to maintain that change. You've invested time, you've invested money in getting here and getting your spine working better, your nervous system working better. So now it's time to talk about, okay, great. You've achieved that goal. What are we going to do going forward? Everyone knows chiropractic helps with these 5 things: neck pain, back pain, headache, sciatica, carpal tunnel syndrome. Those are the 5 things that almost always people walk in the door for. And we get great results with those things. Most people don't realize that it also helps with a huge variety of other symptoms, diseases, illnesses with people. Asthma and allergies. Very interesting study that just came out 2 days ago. 1 Tylenol a month for your child increases the rate of asthma by 540%. The chances of them developing asthma. 1 a month. Isn't that crazy? I thought it was a crazy number. Anyway, so asthma and allergies. A lot of kids are on medications from early on for these things. So we can actually help their immune systems work better, getting off of medications for these things. Digestive complaints, irritable bowel, Crohn's syndrome, acid reflux, see a lot of that in kids as well, even in adults. Digestive complaints and nervous system are linked together. Some of the same receptors we find in the brain also line in the gut tract. So when people say, oh, I had a gut feeling, or you get a phone call and it's bad news and you get a gut response. I mean, those things are all real. Those are all chemical responses in the body. So the gut and the brain are very closely related. So oftentimes when you have imbalance in the nervous system, it also will show up in the gut. Fibromyalgia, sinus problems, TMJ, migraines, I mean, all of these things we can help with. And unfortunately, the options are just not that great other than drugs. Most people look to more medication. And what we know to be true is that more drugs does not equal more health, right? If you look in someone's medicine cabinet, and we even have a cabinet for it now. It's called the medicine cabinet, right? It's a mirrored bathroom cabinet. But what do we all call it? A medicine cabinet, right? It's insane. It's normal. If that is full of medicine, is that person sick or is that person healthy if that's full of medicine? What would you say? Sick, right? No one thinks that the more drugs you take, the healthier you are. But we somehow think we're going to regain our health if I just take this one more drug. Well, what happens and why we have these pill drugs out here for 2 reasons. One is to bring your awareness to the fact that 350 people die every day from adverse reactions to prescription drugs. That's ludicrous. That is insane. That is unacceptable, completely unacceptable. And unfortunately, more and more celebrities we're seeing are dying from, mixing things or ODing on things, and it's really sad. But my hope is that their deaths aren't, in vain, because 350 regular people are dying at the same, these astronomical numbers. We wouldn't put up with that from any other industry. If a jet plane crashed every day, killing 300 people every single day, all the planes would be halted, right? But this somehow is all right. More people die from prescription drugs than in motor vehicle accidents, more than AIDS and breast cancer combined. Okay, so more than AIDS and breast cancer combined. We have lots of walks and promos and things for these diseases, but we need an anti-pharmaceutical walk. I mean, it's insane to me. And those jugs are there. We have a full one in the other room. We're going to keep filling those up. Those get filled when people donate medications that they don't need anymore because they've gone under care. So if it's allergy meds, asthma meds, blood pressure, cholesterol, whatever it is, don't flush them. Bring them to us. We'll keep filling the jugs until I don't know when. I don't know what we're going to do with those jugs of pills. Weight loss, for sure, decreasing blood pressure. This is an interesting study. It came out of National University, which is a chiropractic college, and a University of Chicago. They did a combined study that showed they had two groups of people, one getting adjusted, one not getting adjusted. The group that was under chiropractic care had a drop in 17 millimeters of mercury for their blood pressure. That's a huge drop. That's unheard of in any pharmaceutical trials. That's unheard of. So that was enough to get most people off of 2 blood pressure medications. That's crazy because when you start blood pressure medications, when do you get to stop taking those drugs? Never. Ever. And drug trials at the very longest now are 3 years long. The longest. Some are fast-tracked because they have a high profit margin. So they are fast-tracked 3 months. So 3 years is at the most, but some people take meds for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. No indication of what it's going to do to their bodies long term. It is just not the direction to go if you're looking for more health. So what we wish everybody knew about chiropractic, how it helps the immune system, how it helps stress, and how it can help your fatigue. And we're going to go through your packets in a few minutes to give you a few more details about this. Some really interesting studies we've known of the immune system is just the strength of your immune system when your nervous system is balanced is unbelievable. We had a family with 3 boys who the year before they started in our office, they had missed a combined 18 days of school between their 3 boys. So you think, oh, okay, well, a few days here and there for each kid, oh, not so bad. But they all started under care. The following year, they missed 2 days total for all 3 kids. Like, one didn't miss a day, the other one missed 1, the other one missed 1. That was astounding. Their mom was just shocked, couldn't believe the difference. And, this is something that we see routinely. We've had a family in here who's been in our practice for 2 years. The mom had been under asthma. Every year around the holiday, flu season, right, she would get a cold. It would turn into a sinus infection. Then it would go into her chest. And so for 3 months, she was on antibiotics, steroids, a mix of cocktails for 3 or 4 months in the winter every year for 18 years before she started in our office. So she started getting under care as well as her kids and her husband. And the first year, she started in March. The first year we went through till November, and she was, you could tell she was just kind of waiting for it to jump on her, And we got through February. She was like, "This is the first year ever. I have not been ill. I haven't been taking medications. All her kids got off their asthma and allergy meds. It's amazing to me." So those are the kind of things that we help people with. So I'm going to go through your packets with you right now. That first page, you can bring this home and trick all your smart friends. Try to fool them, right? Oh, you think you're so smart. Here, try this one, right? This next page is the neuroanatomy chart. And you likely got this on your very first day or your second day of being in our office. If you don't, you have it now. But it's fun to look at and see, wow, okay, problems I know I'm having in my neck. Okay, where do those nerves go to? What are some symptoms I may or may not experience? Again, this last column is may or may not experience. You might not feel anything from having a subluxation, but if you do in those areas, those are where those nerves go. Next sheet, the pink sheet, is all about boosting your immunity through chiropractic. They did a study, it's a few years old now. People who were receiving chiropractic care had a 200% greater immune competence than those who did not. 200% stronger immune system, okay? What is our immune system responsible for?
Your whole body.
Whole body, yeah, okay. So, germs, things like that. Internally, our immune system, one of its primary responsibilities is to seek out and destroy cells that have lost their normal growth patterns and are overtaking other organs and blood supply, also known as, what's that disease called?
Inflammatory, what?
Cancer. There you go. Cancer, yeah. So our immune system's, one of its primary functions is to find those cells and destroy them before they get out of balance. So if your immune system under chiropractic care is 200 times stronger, That's why I still get adjusted. I don't get adjusted because of headaches or neck pain or back pain or anything. I get adjusted because I want my immune system to work well. I want my body to be able to find the cancer cells and kill them before they are allowed to run rampant. That was a very interesting study. Auto injuries is the next page. If you know people who get into car accidents or you yourself get into one, please come in, let us check you right away. Refer your friends and family to chiros that are close to them to evaluate them. Research done out of Yale now shows accidents higher than 8.2 miles an hour are significant enough, force to the head, to cause misalignment, subluxation in the neck, but also brainstem injuries in over 50% of cases. So, brainstem injuries and minor car accidents are one of the primary factors in people who develop migraines. So it's very, very important after accidents, even if you think it's minor, just to get people to a chiropractor right away. Regardless of what I always hear is that people come in 5 years later or 10 years later and they say, oh, I had an accident. They either don't relate it to the accident or they say, oh, I've had neck pain. Well, for how long? Oh, about 4 years. Okay, anything happened before that? Well, I just had a minor fender bender like 5 years ago. Yeah, okay, and what else? Oh, yeah, it's very interesting. Even these minor accidents really take a toll on our bodies, and the stress adds up. So it's really important to get checked right after. Next page is all about sitting at the computer and some ergonomic guidelines. If you need help with your desk, I highly recommend a standing workstation if you can do it at all. Men's Health magazine at their corporate office changed all their workstations to standing. Not only standing, but they put the bottom part of a treadmill on the bottom of their desks. And it's going at like 1 mile an hour, super slow. But just so that they're not standing still, they're even moving all day long while they're standing. It's great. It's great. It's absolutely genius. Sitting our bodies just do not like. So getting up every 20 minutes if you're sitting is key. Next page is Lunch and Learn workshops. 4 workshops that I teach for any group, company, anything. There's 4. Women's health, stress, weight loss, eating for maximum performance, and healthy living to 100. We'll even bring lunch when we get an exact head count. If you're interested in any of that, there's a space on the one of the next following sheets. I'll talk to you about that. The next sheet has a number 49 at the bottom. This page is for you to fill out. I don't care if for the 49ers, I wish. Yeah, no. Throw them some good luck.
Yeah, I was there yesterday. It was pretty
it's pretty brutal. Oh, they're coming back. They're coming back. It's okay. You can't. This sheet, what this allows you to do is if people have come to your mind during this workshop that you think, okay, I don't know if they'll take me up on that, but you're welcome to empty your cell phone contact list on that sheet. I don't do anything with that sheet. The names go on there. There's no phone numbers or anything. It goes into your file. Once that happens, you're welcome to call anybody that you put down on the list, or you can wait. Let them know they can have their first exam, consultation with us, x-rays, and their second visit for $49. So it's the only time that we do that. Don't call Gina 2 weeks from now saying, can I please add somebody to my list? It's right now. Fill it out. Even people that you don't think would ever come, who are highly skeptical, who think, oh, they're never going to fill it out. Do it. So these last 2 sheets will stay with us before you leave. Turn them into Gina. The very last sheet is the feedback sheet. So this is important information for me to know what was important, what you learned. There's a section in there about you would like more information about, and there's a list of numbered reports there. These are all PDF files that we can email you about specific conditions: athletic performance, subluxation research, chiropractic and immune system, chiropractic and diabetes, cervical curve, anything that you want. They come by email, so you can circle as many of those reports as you would like. So does anybody have any questions for me about anything that you've heard tonight, about anything that you've heard in our office so far?
So on this list, I mean, we can put anybody that we think may not need care right now, but
absolutely.
in the future.
Never
I
expires.
can put my kids down.
Never expires.
Okay.
As long as they're on the list, never expires. So they could use it.
Do the list?
They could. No, you don't have to. It's just a gift, but you don't have to.
Okay.
No. We're gonna handcuff you to the chair until you do the list. No,
Just to unleash
absolutely
you
not.
only.
It's just if yes, no, it's just an opportunity. And if you guys don't have any questions for me, you can return those sheets in to Gina when you're all done for today. All right. Awesome.
Thank
Thanks, you guys. Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome.